Hello, welcome to another video. So today I realized that a TBR video probably isn't a good idea because then I end up, not reading everything on the TBR. I found out this month, in the month of May anyway, but I'm doing it again. So this is my wrap up for May and my TBR for June. So let's get into it. So in the month of May, I opened 3 books, read some pages from those 3 books, and then, didn't pick them up again. I also watched 2 movies, so we're just gonna talk about all of that. The first one was Mean Girls, which I rated 4.5 stars. I watched it to compare it to Heathers, because I love Heathers, and it's that same little Mean Girl clicky thing, and I was like, let's compare it. I still like Heathers more. Shh. That was a good time. I got some chuckles out of it. Janice is my favorite character, so there's that. And then the second movie I watched was the 2013 adaptation of Romeo and Juliet, which I gave 4 stars. I have never read Romeo and Juliet. I did not have to read that in school, thank goodness. But I felt like this adaptation was pretty good. Like I said, I've never read the play, so I can't really compare it and see if it did it justice. But I really enjoyed it. At first, after finishing the movie, I was like, whatever, that's just, ugh. They couldn't have figured out a way to stay alive or something, come on, people. But the longer I thought about it, I realized that I actually like it, which I never thought I would say, but you know what, I can find the beauty within that story, picking up what I'm putting down, hopefully. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, which is something I never thought I would say about Romeo and Juliet, but it was a good time for me. Those are the movies that I watched in the month of May. Now, to get on to the books. Let's see, I have the stats right here. Okay, so in the month of May, I'm going from least amount of pages read to most amount of pages read. So in the month of May, I picked up Divergent for a reread. Literally, I'm on page 42, which means I started it, got 42 pages in, and then I never picked it up again this month, so that's great. If you don't know, this book is set in a dystopian Chicago where society has been split up into 5 factions: abnegation, amity, candor, dauntless, and erudite. Now, in this society, when you're 16, you have to take an aptitude test, and that aptitude test determines which faction you are best suited for. Well, in this book, our main character, / narrator, / whatever else you want to call her, Beatrice Pryor, sorry, she's not Triss yet. She is 16, she takes her aptitude test, and most people only get 1 faction back in their results, and Triss ends up getting 3, which is actually never heard of. People who get more than 1 faction back in their results are classified as divergents and must keep that hidden, otherwise it could be fatal to them. So in this series, we see Triss come to terms with her divergence and how that makes her different from everyone, and some crazy stuff goes down and it's a party, kind of. The next book that I picked up in the month of May is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. This book, I'm on page 174. According to Goodreads, I logged this book on May 2nd at 100 pages, and then today, May 31st, I logged it at 174 74 pages, which means I read a total of 74 pages in this book. If you don't know, this book follows Frances, who is a high school student who's a head girl at her school. She's straight A's, she's study, but she also likes to draw fan art for her favorite podcast, Universe City. We also have Aled, who is the creator of Universe City, Radio Silence. Nobody can know that he is the creator. Well, one day, Radio Silence messages Frances on Twitter asking her if she would like to do the art for the show, and of course she says yes because she loves this thing to death. And so Aled and Frances end up spending the summer together working on Universe City and becoming best friends. And things are going great until they aren't. Aled's identity gets leaked, something that he never wanted to happen, and so now Frances is just worried about everything. She's worried about Aled, she's worried about their friendship, she's worried about the future of Universe City, and it's an emotional roller coaster, and I highly recommend it. The final book. I don't have the stats for this because I know what happened with this book. So, the final book that I picked up in May is New Moon by Stephanie Meyer. Book 2 in the Twilight Saga. I finished it. I freaking finished it. And I'm so happy to be done with it. Don't get me wrong, those last 180 pages I enjoyed, but the 382, 383 that it took me to get to those, I was not vibing with. Just gonna put that out there. So, if you don't know, this series follows Bella Swan. She moves to Forks, Washington to live with her dad and discovers that things are not always as they seem. She encounters the mysterious Edward Cullen, finds out he's a vampire. Vampires exist, and they live in Forks, Washington. So that's great. This was a time. I'm not sure how much I enjoyed this time. But yeah, I finished it. That was 193 pages because I started on 370, so that was 193 pages that I read. Or no, that was just for that readathon I did. I don't know when I started, but I started it this month, I finished it this month. I'm happy I'm done with it. Okay. Oh, yeah. I also rated it like 4 stars on Goodreads, I think. I'll link the review. I'll link the reviews for all the things that I have, all the stories that I have consumed this month down there. Okay, now we're getting into the June TBR. This is for summer reading at my library. I'm not entirely sure if they're doing summer reading, but I'm gonna do it because I don't care. I'm living on the edge, guys. This is quite an ambitious TBR for me because, you know, I only finished one book last month and I started halfway through it. So that's great for me. The rules for summer reading is that it has to be in your age level and up. So I would be reading like young adult and adult books. And it has to be books that you have not read before. So I have not read any of these books that I'm about to show you. Okay? Okay. I also don't know very much about them, so I can't really give you a synopsis, or much of a synopsis. So these are in alphabetical order. So first off, we have The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. It's a historical fiction. It's told from the point of view of death. That's all I know. I'm assuming there's a book thief in here because that's what it's called. Don't hate me in the comments for not having read this book, okay? Okay. Then we have City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare, which is the second book in the Mortal Instruments series. I don't know anything about this because I'm just, you know, flying by the seat of my pants. Then we have Eclipse, the big mamma jamma. I would like to finish this series before Midnight Sun comes out, so that's what we're going to try to do. And I'm hoping to complete this book as soon as possible. But, you know, over 600 pages of what I've heard could be one chapter at the end of New Moon, so that really bodes well for me. We have Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doty. I don't actually know how to pronounce her last name, but yeah, I want to read this book. It's a memoir, I believe, about the funeral industry, because, you know, she's a mortician, and this is gonna be fun, okay? Then we have Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerri Maniscalco. I don't know what this is about. I assume it's about a girl that's stalking Jack the Ripper. I know she's in love with the Ripper, which is like horrible on her part because he kind of, I think it's been proven that he kind of hated women. So we'll see what Kerri Maniscalco has added to this. I'm kind of excited, very intrigued as to what could happen, what could go down in here. Then we have To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Don't know much about this book, just that there is a lawyer in the Deep South who has to defend a black man in court because he's being accused of something horrible that happened that I don't really want to say on this channel, but like if you've read the book, you know. Then we have The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware, because I like spooky things and I can't wait until October, so I'm starting now. Does that sound fair? Yeah. All I know is that someone goes on a cruise, a woman ends up missing, but nobody remembers the woman. Nobody remembers her existence, and our main character swears up and down that this lady was there. So spooky, fun, thrilling. It sounds like it could be a good time. We'll see. Then the final book on this TBR is The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. All I know about this is that it's about an agoraphobe who never ever leaves her house, doesn't really talk to anyone. She makes friends with like the new neighbors, and then one day she witnesses something horrible going on through her window, and like things get crazy and spooky and thrilling, and Amy Adams is on this cover because, you know, I'm a sucker for movie covers. So this should be a good time, I'm hoping. Alrighty, that is the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my very mediocre descriptions of these books. I wish I could tell you more, but I like not really knowing anything before going into a book. So that's why there were barely any descriptions for any of these books. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button. If you would like to, you can subscribe down here and tap that little notification bell, and that will let you know. That will notify you of when I upload new videos. There we go. Words got jumbled up in there. I try to upload videos once a week. Hopefully, if things go to plan. If not, oh well. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week with a new video. Bye!